Bill O'Reilly here, Friday, November 19th, 2021. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening this week in America. House Republicans move to block President Biden's vaccine mandate. Drug overdose deaths top 100,000 for the first time. Thanksgiving staples in short supply, as we all know. Coke and Pepsi getting into the alcohol business. That'll help the kids. Also ahead, listeners sound off. But first, House Republicans launching an official challenge to block Joe Biden's vaccine mandate on private business. 160 GOP lawmakers in the House introducing legislation that would override Biden's executive order. Supporters say the mandate is necessary to slow the spread of COVID. Critics claim the requirement, the mandated vaccinations on 90 million workers will further damage the economy and cause widespread labor problems. More than 100,000 Americans have died from drug overdoses in the past 12 months, the most ever in American history. That figure is a 30% increase compared to last year. Experts blame the staggering death toll on fentanyl. The synthetic opioid is 100 times more powerful than heroin, if you can believe it. Between October 2020 and 21, border agents seized 11,000 pounds of fentanyl at the border. That's enough to kill 2.5 billion people. The border is, of course, wide open, and death enters this country every day. Thanksgiving dinner becoming harder to put on the table. Shoppers report shortages of turkey, pumpkin pie, sweet potatoes, cranberry sauce, stuffing. A new report says fewer items are available in 67% of stores nationwide. Labor shortages at packing plants creating the chaos, but this should have been anticipated. America's two most popular soda makers getting into the alcohol business. Coca-Cola releasing hard seltzers in 4 different flavors. Pepsi rolling out hard Mountain Dew next year. Both beverages are vegan-friendly, sugar-free, but they'll get you loaded if you drink enough of it. To avoid confusion, the companies are rebranding the drinks to ensure parents don't accidentally buy the booze for the kids. Sales of spirits in the USA up 25% since COVID hit. In a moment, listeners have their say. Right back. There is a reason you have homeowners insurance, because without it, a fire, flood, or burglary could turn your life upside down. But there's something your policy does not cover that could destroy you financially. It's called home title fraud, and the FBI says it's one of the fastest growing crimes. That's why you need Home Title Lock. Title fraud happens when a criminal forges your signature stating you sold your home. Then he takes out loans against your home, leaving you with the payments. You'll spend a fortune in legal fees alone. Home Title Lock will put a barrier around your home's title. Once they detect anyone trying to forge their way onto your home's title, they help shut it down. So please go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you're already a victim. Enter radio for 30 days of free protection. That's code radio at HometitleLock.com. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. Listeners sound off. Each Friday we do this. If you'd like to reach me, it's bill@BillO'Reilly.com. bill@BillO'Reilly.com. Name and town if you wish to opine. So let's begin with Nicholas in Walla Walla, Washington. O'Reilly, what's next for big media? Once it folds, will something else rise up? It's already happening, Nicholas. So there are literally tens of thousands of podcasts everywhere. And there aren't very many news agencies like mine. Smaller, very focused, but I assume they will start to develop. The corporate media has about 5 years of making money before it falls off the cliff. And the audiences, as we've reported, are dwindling fast. Tim in Manhattan Beach, California. Bill, you stated last night if you work for the federal government, you need to be vaxxed. that is not true for Congress. Wonder why? Well, Tim, here's the answer. Congress doesn't work for the federal government. It works for the people. You are not employed by the feds if you're sitting in the House and the Senate. You are elected, and your office gets a budget so that you can do your job. So any mandate from the federal government would not apply to senators and congresspeople. Henry, Allentown, Pennsylvania. Hey, Bill, I have 2 children, ages 8 and 11, who are now eligible for vaccine. Recently, you stated that you would not vaccinate a child of that age. However, you also mentioned that unvaccinated individuals are spreading the virus. It seems that vaccinating young children might be wise, and that is your decision as dad, Henry. So my calculation is based on the transmission rates of COVID between the ages of 5 and 11. They are very low. And so I wouldn't, at this point, vax my young children. But you, studying the data, should make a decision based on what's good for your kids. Al, Little Rock, Arkansas. New York City voters elect the idiots that destroyed their city. Fact remains the same in every single Democratic-controlled state. The voters, or the cheaters counting the votes, get these suckers elected. So why should people elsewhere truly care about what goes on inside places like New York City? It's a legitimate point, Al. It's a legitimate point. So we have chaos in the city. It's where I live, 20 miles outside. And just this week, a judge put a no bail on a thug who stabbed a police officer, served time for that, and then hit another police officer over the head with a safe. That wasn't enough for this judge to keep this thug in jail. This is corruption. This is anarchy. And for those of you who don't have systems like this, count yourself lucky. But New York, Chicago, San Francisco, LA, they're all part of America. And if we're going to solve these problems, we can't be apathetic about them. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by putting it together. For more honest news analysis, please go to BillO'Reilly.com. In a moment, something you might not know. Are you looking for your next investment? Bill O'Reilly here. There are 8 reasons to look at the Nria Real Estate Development Fund. Stable monthly cash flow payouts with double-digit targeted bonus returns. They strategically develop in lower-risk, high-demand neighborhoods. Prime new construction, short on supply, and high on demand right now. Diversification and safety from stock market risk. They have a short and long-term strategy for returns today and down the road. Specifically designed pandemic-hardened buildings. They are 15-year industry leaders with a proven track record. So, if you have been sitting on the sidelines or want to diversify, start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. 2021, a very bad year for the entertainment industry. Music sales, movie tickets, TV ratings, all way down since COVID hit. The media landscape was very different, however, 50 years ago today. Back then, the average American family earned $11,000. Each household had one television set and about 10 channels from which to choose. Here's what the folks were watching in November 1971. Number 10, The Mary Tyler Moore Show. That program would sky up to number 1 a few years later. Number 9, Funny Face, short-lived sitcom featuring a student working at an ad agency. It was canceled after 3 months. 8 spot goes to Mannix, Mike Connors, an American detective, And that show ran from 1967 to 75. Next, ABC's Movie of the Week. They were mostly made-for-TV films. This week, the main feature was an action movie called Duel from an up-and-coming director named Steven Spielberg. Number 6, The Electric Company, the children's series, helped elementary school kids improve their spelling. The top 5 starts with a show called The Persuaders. A noble Englishman joins forces with a Bronx-born American to fight crime. Very boring show. Tony Curtis and Roger Moore starred, got canceled the first year. Number 4, Gunsmoke. The Western series starring James Arness ran for 2 decades. It's still on Nostalgia TV. Third place goes to Cannon. Story centers around a balding, overweight ex-cop who becomes a private investigator while cooking at an upscale restaurant, which is why he's chubby. Second place, Columbo. Peter Falk was the curious detective solving homicides around Los Angeles. The most watched series 50 years ago today. All in the Family. The show debuted in January, became an immediate smash. Archie Bunker and his crew broke ground for discussing topics never before mentioned on television: homosexuality, race, anti-Semitism, the Vietnam War. As the Bunkers would say, those were the days. Back after this. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation honoring America's heroes and their families with 200 mortgage-free homes this year. Amazing. In a moving tribute to the fallen, the foundation's chairman and CEO walked from the Pentagon to Shanksville, Pennsylvania, then on to Ground Zero, more than 500 miles through 6 states in 42 days. Thanks to your support, the foundation brought Towers of Light back to the Pentagon and Shanksville memorials in remembrance. And in a first for America, the foundation read aloud the names of those who lost their lives to 9/11-related illness. On Veterans Day, another first will arrive. The foundation is reading aloud the names of people lost in the War on Terror. So please do some good and help America never forget. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T, the number 2, T.org. Great cause. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.